Hey, what's up? Luke here. Today I thought I'd do a video comparing the different cameras that you can get around for $400. Also, right off the bat, I have to get it off my chest that these are cameras for videography only. They're not really meant for photography, even though you can take great photos with them. They're just not meant for that, and I bought these cameras because of their videography capability, not because of their photography capability. Anyway, with that off the bat, let's get into the comparison. So, there's three different kinds of cameras you can really get for this type of price point. You can get a DSLR like what I'm shooting on right now. It's the Panasonic GH2. You could buy a point and shoot like this. It's the ZS70 from Panasonic as well. And the thing about this is the sensor size is much smaller, but it's also much more compact. So we'll see how that turns out. And you can also get a phone for around $400. This is about a year old. The G7 hasn't come out yet, but this is the LG G6. You can probably buy it for around $400. I got mine more for like $300, which is a great price. But I thought I'd just throw it in here because everyone really has a phone that's watching this. So I thought it'd be a good anchor point. Now, the way this comparison is going to work is I'm going to do the super scientific method of taping all of the cameras onto this wooden thing and trying to hold it steady and bring it around. So yeah, let's get right into it. Before I start, I just want to note that all the footage in this video is not corrected or graded, so it does not look its best. Okay, let's go. Right off the bat, you can tell that the GH2 has the worst stabilization of the bunch. In contrast to that, the LG G6 has the best, even though there are some artifacts from the algorithm used to stabilize it. And as expected, the ZS70 falls smack dab in between the other two cameras. Now onto autofocus speed. On the GH2, it did a pretty good job of switching from a close-up object to a faraway object, even though there was a little bit of drifting in between. I would say it's passable. On the G6, something surprising happened. Even though it was fine when close up, it actually did not refocus while taking the video. I'm not really sure what happened here. Maybe I need to tap it again, but I don't know. On the ZS70 though, it did a much better job than either of the other two, and it pretty much instantaneously locked focus once it was pulled away from the close-up shot. Now onto auto exposure. The auto exposure on the GH2 is actually so poor that I had to turn it off this clip. That's why the exposure stays constant throughout. On the G6, it is the fastest and most accurate of any of the other cameras, but at the same time there is that big glaring lens flare in the middle, which really makes it hard to look at. And the ZS70 does look the best of the bunch. Even though it doesn't have as fast of an exposure as the G6, it still looks better because it doesn't have that glaring lens flare in the middle. It actually turns out that shooting foliage is a great way to test how much detail a camera can reproduce. First off, here with the GH2, we have it hacked to 100 megabits, so that's why the detail is more than a normal one. But anyway, the detail actually does look pretty good on this one, even though it is a little bit underexposed because of the previously stated poor auto exposure. On the G6, the detail looks okay, but it's just so blown out, it's just hard to see everything, and it just looks terrible. I'm not sure why that happened. I did clean out the lens first. And on the ZS70, it does look mildly similar to the GH2, but it is overexposed because that auto exposure really struggled on that high contrast scene here. And when we do a zoom in, we pretty much just show what we were talking about before. The GH2 is in the lead, the ZS70 is in the middle, and the G6 falls behind. In conclusion, there are a lot of tests I didn't run. Like, let's say, low light, even though we kind of know what camera will win which scenario. Like the GH2, since it has the biggest sensor size, it would always win in low light. So the rankings would have gone GH2, ZS70, then the G6. And we also could have ran skin tones, even though skin tones are like completely subjective, so I don't really know how I could objectively run that besides, I don't know, pick one, which one you like. And at that, just literally go and look at video samples and pick which skin tone you like. And also, anyway, after that, which camera should you buy? The answer is, it depends on your use case. So let's say that you want just the best picture quality, and that's all you care about. You just want picture quality, and that's it. Go with the DSLR. Buying like an older DSLR, even though it lacks a lot of the new features, it does have the best quality and low light performance of the bunch. But let's say you don't want that. You want the most flexibility and features like time-lapse, slow motion, high resolutions. If you want that, go with a newer age point and shoot. Like the ZS70, I think that's a 2016-2017 camera, while the GH2 is like 2012-ish era. So it does have more features. The ZS70 has more features, as I said, like slow motion, high frame rates, stuff like that. So it is the most flexible. Also, the size is smaller than the other ones, which makes it more flexible. But if you don't want to spend more money and you have a recent smartphone, these tests kind of show that you don't need a camera like this. They're only something if you want to buy one. So, as I said before, it depends. Anyway, tell me which camera you're going to get below, even though I know you're not because no one watches these videos. Anyway, if you want another video like this, too bad, I don't make consistent videos. See you guys next time.